last year, we announced a new safety and travel benefit for our members. In this broadcast, you will learn all about those benefits and how you can use those benefits should you need to do so. I'm Tammy Brown. I am the Director of Marketing at America's Boating Club, and I am very pleased to be with Ursula Hash, who's the Program Manager at Dan Boater. Welcome, Ursula, to the broadcast. Glad to have you.
Hi, Tammy. Thank you. Happy Independence Day Eve.
You too. You too. I hope you have a safe 4th, everyone.
Yes. Everybody stay safe.
Yes, absolutely. So should we get started, Ursula?
Let's get started.
So, Ursula, what is Dan Boater?
Okay, so Dan Boater is a travel safety association. We've been assisting divers, boaters, and travelers in general worldwide for over 40 years, helping them with medical emergencies, travel emergencies, medical information, tips, things of that nature.
What services does Dan provide, Ursula?
Dan Boater provides several services, travel health and safety services. First off, we have a 24/7 emergency hotline. We have a medical information line. We provide global medical evacuation and medical repatriation services. We also offer search and rescue expense reimbursement, medical referrals, prescription assistance, medical monitoring, and a whole lot more. Too much to go into today.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you. Do I have to pay for these services?
Yes. For America's Boating Club members, Dan Boater is available as an option on your annual membership for just $25 a year. And that includes all of the services that I just mentioned a few minutes ago, plus everything else that's included in our program.
How do I pay for these services?
Most ABC members already have Dan Boater. They may not realize it. Back at the beginning of the year, unless a member opted out, they were automatically enrolled in the services. And you can keep the benefit every year when your ABC membership comes up for renewal. You can just choose the Dan Boater option, and that'll be added to your membership renewal. And if you're not sure if you're currently covered by the Dan Boater program, there's a website you can go to, www.usps.org/Dan Boater. You just log in with your member ID and your PIN, and it'll tell you if you have the benefit. And if you don't, you can check the box and add it to your membership right away.
For only $25 a year?
Only $25 a year. That's correct.
That's awesome. If I have an emergency while traveling, how do I contact Dan Boater?
Okay. So if you have a medical emergency, there's two basic ways you can contact us. Our emergency hotline number is 919-684-9111, or you can email us at emergency@danboater.org. If you have a travel question, travel safety, first aid questions, want information about where you're going, you're in the process of doing your trip planning, you can contact our medical information line at 919-490-2011, or send us an email at medic@danboater.org.
Great. What I've encouraged, Ursula, is for our members to store the emergency number and the non-emergency number in their phones so that if they need them, they're right there, as well as printing out their Dan membership card to keep in their wallet, but at least have those emergency numbers stored in their phones so that you don't have to think about it or look forward to search. They're right there.
That's right. And another thing to keep in mind too is for medical emergencies, we accept collect calls. So no matter where you are in the world, if you need to, you can call us collect. We'll accept the call.
Excellent. Excellent. Ursula, how do I file a claim should I need to do so?
Okay, so Dan Boater is actually a membership program. So it's not like traditional insurance where you file claims, use claim forms, things of that nature. So the way it works is when you have a medical emergency and you believe you're going to need to activate some of your services like the medical evacuation, the repatriation, search and rescue, stuff like that, call us as soon as possible.
Yeah.
What we recommend is when you have a medical emergency, if you know you're going to need to get to a hospital right away. What we recommend is that you call 911 or the local equivalent of the emergency response system. Contact them first. That should always be your first call to get, the ambulance is on the way, the Coast Guard on the way, whoever needs to get to you as quickly as possible. We don't want to interfere with that process.
Right.
The very next call you make, you should call us. Call the emergency hotline. You'll be talking to our medics or our physicians. They'll open a case. They'll figure out what's going on with you, what kind of resources you're going to need. It allows us, by calling us as soon as possible, it allows us to open up a case and better help you by managing the incident as quickly and efficiently as possible.
It's great. Can I claim expenses accrued during an emergency before contacting Dan Boder?
Typically, usually no. That's one of the reasons why we recommend that you call us as soon as possible, because the sooner we get involved in the case, the better we can manage everything and handle all of the arrangements, take care of all the payments and all that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of the stress off of you in an already stressful situation. However, there will be times, fortunately it's rare, but sometimes it's just not possible to get through to us when it's actually occurring. Sometimes it's just more important that you get to the hospital, get yourself taken care of. It could be a heart attack or a stroke situation or somebody's bleeding, things of that nature. But call us as soon as possible. If you ever have a question about are your expenses prior to contacting us are covered, you can get help with that by calling the Dan Boder Member Support Group at 919-490-2011. And like I said, we recognize that there are rare situations where we're not going to be able to get involved right from the very beginning. So at least call us and let us know what happened, and then we'll work with you from there.
And again, this is manned 24/7.
Correct.
So remember to use that line as soon as you can to start the process as early as possible.
That's right.
Is there a limit on the coverage amounts for Dan Boder's emergency services, Ursula?
Yes, there are coverage amounts vary by service. So, for example, our global medical evacuation pays up to $150,000 per person per incident. Medical repatriation covers up to $25,000. Search and rescue expense reimbursement will cover up to $25,000 of expenses. So those are just some of the examples. You can get a complete list of all of the services that are included in Dan Boder and the coverage amounts in our member handbook, which is available to everyone that becomes a member.
Excellent. Do I have to be, this is a question we both get all the time.
Yeah.
Do I have to be boating to be covered by Dan Boder?
And the answer to that is no. Your Dan Boder services apply regardless of how you travel. So whether you're going by boat, by cruise ship, plane, train, you're driving in your car, you're on a donkey, it doesn't matter how you're traveling. The key is the distance that you're traveling.
This is another question you and I get all the time. Is everyone in my family covered by Dan Boder?
So Dan Boder covers Dan Boder covers the immediate family members that are listed as dependents on your America's Boating Club membership. So what is the definition of immediate family members? We're talking about your spouse or significant other, your children up to age 24. That is the definition of immediate family members. Now, one of the things that we get asked quite a bit is, what about my grandkids? Every summer, we pile them all in the boat and we head down to the islands for the summer. Your Dan Boder membership won't cover your grandchildren because they're not considered immediate family members. So what we recommend in that instance is enroll your children, their parents, in their own Dan Boder membership, and have the grandchildren listed on their membership as immediate family members. That way, when the grandchildren are traveling with you, and again, it doesn't matter whether you're on a boat, car, train, they're covered.
Donkey.
The entire family is covered, and it doesn't matter who's traveling with whom.
Those are great gifts year round, especially during the holidays. But if you would buy your children, each of your family children, and that would cover their grandchildren, their children, and so you could all travel as a family and know that you're all covered by the Dan insurance. So that's a great gift opportunity for us to join our organization and receive the incredible Dan Boater benefits.
That's right. And remember, your Dan Boater benefits will cover you regardless of where you travel or how you travel for an entire year. So as long as your America's Boating Club membership is active and you have the Dan Boater services on there, everybody's covered. So you don't have to be traveling together.
Yeah, good point. Another question we get a lot. How far from home do I have to be before I am covered by Dan Boater benefits?
That's easy. So Dan Boater benefits are available anytime you travel more than 50 miles from home. So for example, most people think of the Dan Boater services as being available when they're traveling outside the country. They are, certainly. But think about this as well. You know, over the holidays, you might be driving just across the state line. You know, you might be going 75 miles away from home to gather with family. You're covered because you're more than 50 miles from home. So just keep that in mind.
Excellent. How can I access Dan Boater's travel, health, and safety guides? These are wonderful resources, and I encourage all of you to really print these out, keep them with you, read them at your leisure, and but please tell us about them, Ursula. They're great.
Okay, well, thank you for asking about that. Our travel, health, and safety guides are actually pretty popular. We have 4 volumes available right now to all active members. You get them for free. They're no charge. They're available online on your website, as a matter of fact, at www.usps.org/danboater. Again, you just log in with your ABC membership and you can access all 4 of the guides right there. You can read them online at your leisure. You can also download PDF copies onto your computer, your tablet, your smartphone. That way you can take them with you when you travel, because some of those guides actually have some very valuable first aid tips. Hazardous marine life injuries, for example, seafood poisonings, things of that nature, musculoskeletal injuries. So we recommend everybody download copies, put them on your phone, on your tablet, take them with you when you travel. That way you've got them with you and you won't be dependent on the internet in order to get access to that information.
Great information. What happens if I'm exposed to COVID-19 while traveling? What do I need to be aware of?
That's a really good question. So the most important thing you need to know about pandemics in general, traveling during pandemics in general, is just avoid the affected areas if at all possible. Just don't go.
Yes.
Do your research ahead of time for your destination and the areas that you're going to be traveling through. So that way you're prepared. You'll know what to expect if something goes wrong while you're traveling. So another thing you need to keep in mind is in a situation like COVID-19, federal, state, and local governments actually call the shots. They're the ones that establish the laws, the rules, and the regulations that all of the service providers, all of the medical evacuation providers, all of the travel safety, all insurance policies, we all fall under those rules and restrictions. So, for example, earlier this year when COVID-19 hit, we had several members that were traveling outside the country when that started to hit. I'm not aware of any of our members actually contracting COVID-19, but they were caught up in several of the lockdowns. As a matter of fact, we still have a member right now who is locked down in Spain. So, you know, be aware of what's going on in the areas that you're traveling to, and understand that in dire situations like that, we are very restricted in what we can and can't do. So generally, none of the providers can provide emergency services, or if we can, they're going to be very limited in pandemic situations. So again, our general advice is in a situation like that, just don't go. Just don't go. Put it off.
Yeah, and to your point, even inside the United States, all the governors and states have very different restrictions. So even if you're going to visit your grandchildren in the next state, please make sure that you are aware and prepared for the differences in policies and laws and regulations that go from state to state before you travel. Just as you said, know before you go. And if you're in any doubt, don't go.
That's correct. And if you have questions, call us. Call our medical information line.
Yep.
Talk to the medics. They'll be able to answer your questions about the locations where you're going, what the restrictions may be, what to be aware of. It's also a good idea to call them when you're doing any travel planning because they can help you with things like, what are the vaccination requirements where I'm going? What are the prescription laws like where I'm going? That kind of thing. But in the case of COVID-19 in particular, be aware that there are several places throughout the world, including right here in the US and in Canada, where, just like Tammy said, moving from one state to another, it's an automatic 14-day quarantine. So
Yep.
if you have a medical emergency, consider this. Let's say, for example, that you have a medical emergency where you are. It's not COVID related. Generally, we're going to be able to continue to provide services. I mean, we provided services to our members throughout the entire COVID thing. It's still going on. But if you're not exposed to COVID-19, that makes it a little bit easier for us to provide the regular services for you. But one thing to keep in mind is, for example, let's say you have a medical emergency, and we need to conduct a medical repatriation for you. We need to get you back to your home. For treatment, maybe an elevated level of care, or maybe you had surgery outside the country, and now you're going to have to go into long-term rehab, for example. I'm just giving that as an example. Be aware that you may not be able to go to the hospital of your choice in that scenario, depending on the state in which you live, because some states have right now, they have a restriction where anyone coming from certain states or certain places outside of the country, it's an immediate 14-day quarantine. So we would be very limited as to where we would be able to take you.
Great point. And again, if you need information, this 24/7 emergency hotline is available anytime you have questions. So if you have any this is an invaluable resource that we have for our members that you can call anytime to ask questions about any of these things. So that's
right.
Fabulous.
Yes, we encourage all members to call. When in doubt, call us. We'll be more than happy to help.
It's very, very great.
Okay, are there any other questions?
Ursula, I thank you. I thank you very much for joining the broadcast. A lot of great information. I know our members we get these questions all the time. So thank you for joining us today on the broadcast, answering these questions, giving information that we all need to know. And again, take care, and thanks for joining the broadcast, and be well, my friend.
Thank you so much, Tammy. It was an honor to be here, and we are delighted to be supporting America's Boating Club. Thank you.
We are delighted to have you for our member benefits. Thank you.
All right. Have a great weekend.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.